Did you release that statement about Rupert Lowe because he had fallen out with Nigel Farage and been critical about him in an interview with Andrew Pearce?
No, far from it. In fact, if anything, the opposite is true. Look, first of all, it's a great shame because we've been doing so well, and Rupert's been doing some great work on particular issues that are of real importance to many people. Because unfortunately, there are serious allegations of bullying by two separate women that have been made to the parliamentary authorities,
which he denies.
That is a question of fact. And then quite appropriately, our chairman Zia Youssef, who's been working incredibly hard, he made the decision that actually the responsible thing to do was to launch an independent investigation by a KC, which was launched at the end of February. Hang on, you've asked me a question, let me answer. Right, the independent investigation, Rupert was told about that at the end of February, sometime before this interview appeared. So the timing might look coincidental, but it's actually the opposite, Camilla.
Richard, honestly, the timing doesn't just look coincidental, it looks a little bit malicious.
Well, I've just told you.
The allegations refer to something that happened in December. And you decided to come out with it. No, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show. You come out with the statement on Thursday after Rupert Lowe has questioned whether Nigel Farage is fit to be Prime Minister. There was no need to have released the statement immediately after that interview. These allegations refer to something back in December. So, of course, the timing looks deeply suspicious. And it suggests you've mishandled it.
Far from it. We've done the appropriate and responsible thing to do. There was a further threat made to Zia literally last week. So at the end of the day...
What's the nature of these threats?
I'm not going to go into any details of that, but ultimately, as chairman, Zia's got significant responsibilities. Imagine if we'd done the opposite. Imagine if we'd brushed this all under the carpet.
Well, you could have conducted an internal investigation and then revealed the findings. Even the KC in this seems to think that you put this statement out too early.
The reality is that we have been working incredibly hard. We're going up in the polls, but the truth is, hang on, hear me out. The truth is that these difficulties have been ongoing for some time. We hoped that they could be dealt with. For example, just before Christmas, there was a very unfortunate incident that I witnessed in the House of Commons between Rupert and the Labour Minister,
which was resolved in the end.
Well, but there was almost an altercation, and that was was an indication
but
of.
The Speaker did draw a line under it. So
we did, but
that's not in this statement, is it? That incident doesn't feature in the statement.
That is, there have been numerous other areas where, unfortunately, it's turned out not to be possible to work constructively with Rupert. And let me just give you an example.
Hang on, let me ask one question, please, because you are speaking a lot and you're not letting me ask the questions that our audience demands answers to. And I think that's right, because you know that there are a lot of reform supporters watching and listening to this. You say he hasn't cooperated with the investigation. He says he's been in communication with the KC. So has he cooperated or not?
Well, two sides might disagree.
Has he cooperated?
Quite properly, I'm not...
Has he spoken to the KC?
Quite properly, I'm not involved.
Has he spoken to the KC?
It sounds like it from what he says.
So why is the statement saying he hasn't cooperated?
I'm not involved with the day-to-day of things. What I know is, for example, we're all working incredibly hard. We've got May elections on the 1st of May. And... whilst we're doing this hard work, for example, Rupert's not even been to our head office, just down the road, no interest in the mayor elections. We need a united team that is going to drive forward. We're heading in the polls.
If you need a united team, why are you airing all of this dirty washing in public?
It's not very
united. We've now got this unedifying war of words
of course it's
between Rupert Lowe on X, Nigel Farage in the Sunday Telegraph. It looks amateurish. You're meant to be a professional party. Are you a party of grievance or governance?
We are a party with the right policies to save this country. Right. Things like mass immigration, on scrapping net superzero.
Hang on. 5 of you, and you're fighting like rats in a sack. How on earth is Nigel Farage going to command hundreds of MPs, which is your aspiration for the next general election, if he can't keep 4 MPs in check?
Because the truth is, we're working incredibly hard. We're going to work the hardest over the next 4 years. We're going to have the best candidates and the best policies.
You're working hard.
And that starts on May the 1st this year. Then it goes into the devolved nation elections next year. And we're going to prove it.
Reform UK in turmoil. Allegations of bullying and internal conflicts threaten party stability ahead of May elections in an exclusive televised interview. Richard Tice, the leader of Reform UK, pulled back the curtain on the inner workings of his party, exposing both its ambitions and its growing pains. As the party prepares for the crucial May elections, internal strife and allegations of bullying threaten to overshadow its political message, raising questions about the party's ability to present a united and professional front to the electorate. The most damaging allegations revolve around Rupert, a senior figure within the party who has been accused of bullying. An independent investigation has been launched into these claims, and Rupert was informed of the inquiry before his recent media appearance. These accusations have ignited heated discussions within the party and among political commentators, casting a shadow over Reform UK's credibility at a critical juncture. Tice's interview, while intended to clarify the party's position, instead highlighted the internal conflicts that have hampered Reform UK's momentum. While he projected confidence in the party's vision for the future, the underlying tensions were impossible to ignore. Reform U, which has prided itself on being an alternative to the mainstream political establishment, now faces scrutiny reminiscent of the very institutions it seeks to challenge. For any political party, internal cohesion is essential, particularly in the run-up to a major election. Reform UK has built its reputation on strong leadership and a promise to shake up the political status quo. However, internal divisions, if left unchecked, could undermine its credibility and deter potential supporters. Allegations of bullying are serious matters in any organization, but within a political party, they have far-reaching consequences. The electorate expects transparency, accountability, and professionalism, values that Reform UK must now demonstrate in its handling of this crisis. A failure to address these concerns adequately could damage the party's reputation and hinder its ability to gain traction in the upcoming elections. Reform UK is positioning itself as the voice of disillusioned voters, aiming to capitalize on growing frustration with mainstream parties. With policies focused on immigration, taxation, and national sovereignty, the party has sought to carve out a distinct political identity. However, internal discord threatens to distract from its core messaging. As the May elections approach, the party will need to navigate these challenges carefully. The electorate is unlikely to overlook leadership disputes and allegations of misconduct, particularly in an era where public trust in politicians is already fragile. Reform UK must strike a balance between addressing these concerns with transparency and ensuring that its political platform remains at the forefront of public discourse. The path forward for Reform UK is fraught with challenges. To regain public confidence, the party must handle the independent investigation with integrity, ensuring that due process is followed and that any necessary disciplinary actions are taken. Moreover, party leaders must work to unify their ranks, fostering a culture of professionalism and accountability. In politics, perception is often as crucial as reality. If Reform UK is perceived as being embroiled in internal chaos, it risks alienating voters who might otherwise be drawn to its message. Conversely, if the party can demonstrate strong leadership in addressing these concerns, it may turn the controversy into an opportunity to showcase its commitment to ethical governance. Ultimately, the success of Reform UK in the May elections will depend on its ability to present a cohesive and credible alternative to the electorate. The coming weeks will be pivotal in determining whether the party can weather this storm or whether internal conflicts will derail its ambitions. For now, all eyes are on Reform UK's leadership and how they choose to navigate this defining moment in the party's trajectory.